at the world, I would say to my mum, what's going on in this world? My mum would say to me, she was gonna check me into St. Cadoc's, and I would say to her, okay, so that approach of pain, of hatred, it doesn't work. We have to get smart.
Justice! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Make some noise for Black Lives people!
So, what's the solutions? You need to be beacons of love, beacons of light in your community. Yeah, look at me. I wake up every day and I'm dressed for war. But not that kind of war. The war of love. Because I know if I keep throwing my pebble into the ocean, I'm gonna change the world. Through love. Through life. Through self-empowerment. If you don't know where to start, do your research. Success leaves clues. Start a book club. Start a bike club. Start a football club. Start some club. Empower the people around you to create equal opportunities. That's how you change the world. So, for all of you, go out there. Use your Instagrams, yeah? People tell me, you ain't doing enough. I'm doing enough. I've been doing enough. And I'm gonna continue to do enough. Black Lives Matter!
Showing solidarity for institutional racism, for racism that our forefathers have walked through. People in our shoes that have suffered atrocities all over the world as well due to the colour of their skin, due to race. This matters more to us at the moment, and I'm willing to die for it today. If I catch COVID or any of my family catch COVID, then we'll put up with the consequences, because this needs to be said, and it needs to be said now.
Stick to the social distancing, please. I have to remind you. You know, we don't want this to be overshadowed by anything. We don't want the focus to be on how people were not social distancing. We want the focus to be on the message, on our purpose, and why everybody is here today. So before we begin getting into the more eloquent speeches, I would like to invite a few poets to perform their pieces, beginning with Miles.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Hush. Spare a few minutes. Be very still. Let me describe a scenario I've penned with my quill. I see a tall, respectable, brown-skinned man with dark-rimmed glasses on his face. I see a man, like a lawyer, versed with words, and the subject is race. I see a debate like a courtroom, and you, the judges, have taken your place. I see the results of his discord making the treatments of blacks out to be an utter disgrace. His words come with passion, his sentences laced with justice and truth. I see the urgency with which he speaks raises the roof. I see Tamala Motown's 60s and Louis Armstrong's pain. I see James Brown's conviction and Aretha Franklin's disdain. I hear sentiments being echoed in that famous Marvin Gaye song. What's happening, brother? What in the world's going on? I see A man whose message transcends generation. I see a man who demands white America make repatriations. I see defiance, not settling for what's not right. I see power, by any means necessary, winning the fight. I see outstanding articulation, which debated with kings and queens. I see a man that will win fights by any means. I see amazing, this man is simply before his time. I see equality, I'm just as good as you. I see opportunity. I can do what you could do. Oh, Malcolm, what made you see that you were more than this? What made you say, yes, we can? What made you believe that you were the original man, the original Asiatic man? Did the ancient kingdoms of Nubia whisper who you are? Did the distant libraries of Timbuktu tell you you were the first star? Or did you just say, I'm going to change this? This isn't right. This is bizarre. Oh, Malcolm, what made you stand up and say enough is enough? What made you get real? What made you get serious? What made you get tough? Did the blue hills of Mississippi cry out to you? Did the voices from the flames of Lynchville scream, our salvation is overdue? Or did you just wake up in the morning one morning and stare in the mirror and say, I love you? I see bravery, telling them their actions are a disgrace. I see a performance, and the audience are on their feet. I see respect for himself and others, and an agenda to meet. I see a warrior, decked with armor fit for a king. I see a sword of truth, which literally cuts through anything. I see a shield protecting black people from a hostile climate. I feel your anger. We're human. How dare we be treated this way? I feel your frustration. When will we be able to enjoy a better day? I feel fear and envy. I love how you have such discipline with words. I feel your passion and admiration. It's that charm and persistence that moves our people forwards. I feel your words floating on soft blue lights of persuasion, igniting the hearts of men with orange flames of passion everywhere. I see the laments of past heroes, the wounds that have not been healed, and their antagonizers still saying, I don't care.
My name's Peter Akiyumi. This poem is called Slaves of the Valleys. The Valleys kids play in the dirt. Like daffodils, they grow from the earth. Their only gifts are loving and truths. Valley kids, wrapped in earth and blues. Your granddads were slaves, just like mine. From the sugar plantation to the deepest coal mine. Slavery blues are black and profound, as valley blues from those holes in the ground. Black and white may adjudicate, slaves to the grave conceiving hate. To last breath from wakening screams, suffocating kids and slaves in breathless schemes choke. They choke for life in the earth. Faces of miners blackened with ash, backs of slaves bloodied by the lash, miners' lungs lined with sentiment and dust, in the minds of slaves resentment and disgust. But power is neither black nor white, yet is for both. Should they unite, break shackles, stand and fight against the might of capital greed, with union, the radical source which feeds and propels from earth to fruits. Blues go down to my Negro roots. Time was when I had no boots, and I poked around Black Boy Street, but they melted away on the Revelation Day. I met a white bloke who had no feet. Thank you.
But a movement that carries on, and the voices that have been carrying these conversations for time get to be heard on platforms like this, in homes, in schools, and everywhere where it's necessary. It'll be my last poem, second and last poem, and it's called Prodigal Son. A prodigal son returns riding in on his chariot. hat in his hand on his heart, trying to bury it, concealing bleeding lungs, regretting leaving young if home is where the heart belongs. He wonders why he'd ever run. But I've been gone too long. Home is a soured sentiment. My tongue crows at the curdled morsels of home that leave my lips. This fermenting familiarity wreaks havoc on my wit, my compass twists, turning chaos into the core of this wayfarer's soul. You see, she may hug me like I never left, but what's left of our conversations begs questions of culture and kinship. My grandmother does not speak English, and I've lost the keys to our conversations. We navigate through our memories with caution, knowing there's a casualty waiting around every turn of phrase. She smiles, I smile, and the silence sings my shame. Dancing across the ivory tips of the elephant in the room, I had forgotten where I'd come from. So I reach for the strongest branches in our family tree, hoping to see the seams in need of attention. Hoping to be the thread that binds this tapestry of kings and queens buoyed in the sinews of our oral tradition. And I'm not alone in this. The diaspora are calling for home. We are forgotten seeds, caught falling from the tree, unshackled by the rainstorms we'd suddenly flee. Manufacturing a genesis to jettison grief, ingesting debris, dressing a breeze in our recitatives. We are precipitations of old creations and new personas. Old theatrics just channeled into these new performers. We carry forward what older knowers were handing down, embellishing the dialectics of our fathers' crowns. Washkulu wali mpela mano. My grandfather gave wisdom. I never knew it then, but I know it now, and I'll hold it proud as I speak my piece. I'll carry the souvenirs my abuelo thought to be precious. Diamonds calcified over centuries worth of pressure, surviving oppression, pressing his legend into my stencil from a lineage of lions. His lessons were my credentials. He showed me the gold hidden in his soul. No rhythms from the old ways withered in his hold, so vivid in resolve, bold in his winning ways, showing me the roads that evolved to his glory days. I've been tracing the constellations his conversations would conjure. Glowing confirmations of all the moments he conquered, from praying for the rain to dancing with the hurricane and carrying that flame that colored my mother's name. There's history folded in our family's dictions. There's history folded in our family's names. Only in appreciating the word distance brought me closer to the truth could I read between those lines, and my grandmother's smile, my grandfather smiled when he handed me the keys to our culture. Knowing I can never stand alone, never be alone, while the cannons of our continent still echo inside these bones. I will always be a banner of my beginnings, regardless of what land I live in. Thank you.